I'm John Benalek. I've been married to Jean for 55 years. We got 4 boys. We was hoping to add a little maid. But then Jean read somewhere that every 5th child born in the world was Chinese. So that was that, wasn't it? I've been farming all my life, and I'm very proud of my Cornishness. My bardic name is Whethlor Wenna, Storyteller of St Wenn. This is the story of Cornwalls Air Ambulance first visit to St Wenn. 'Twas in the year of 87 this story I to tell, how Tommy Wills from old St Wenn into a quarry fell. Now Tommy isn't very big, 'tis plain for all to see, but with a shovel in his hand he becomes a JCB. He turns his garden double depth, and when the digging's done he'll turn it over all again, the second time for fun. Now Tom patrols Trewallock Farm in his daily ramble. There's never any blackberry jam, 'cause there's not a single bramble. The hedges are so high and steep, they really take some beating. We need stilts 10 foot high, the sheep can be heard bleating. The cows first stand around occasionally mooing. To get over anywhere is going to take some doing. One sunny morn in April, Tom set off up the lane. Boss Orky could not have known he wouldn't come down again. And having reached the quarry right on top the hill, he reckoned in a couple of days the quarry he could fill. 'Twould make another garden, and wouldn't it be a thrill to grow enormous onions and roll 'em down the hill. Tom got into the quarry and was walking round and round. He didn't see a large hole sticking up from underground. Before he could say rhubarb, Tom took a backward flip. But then Tom had always been one to enjoy a trip. With grunting and with groaning, he took a mighty whack. The very sudden impact turned his cap all four-side back. Back on the farm, the family thought the worst, 'cause when 'twas dinner time, Tom was always first. They went up to the quarry where our hero soon was found. Boss took hold of Tommy's head and turned it right way round. "My neck is broke, of that I'm sure," poor Tommy let out with a roar. Boss's boy raced off down the lane, spurred on by Tommy's cries of pain. The air ambulance would have to come, of that there was no doubt. There was no alternative but to fly the patient out. A roaring, fiery chariot. Tommy had heard of such a thing. He'd read the prophet Elijah in the 2nd book of Kings. Now with people all around an hour, Tommy was struck dumb. As you, 'twas certain his time for sure was come. But strong, gentle hands got him on board. He felt a little dizzy, up and away. The pilot said, "On your right you'll see St Izzy. Passing Columba on we go, as on doth go our ditty. Hang on, Tom, a minute more we'll arrive in Truro City." What x-rays and examination did very well reveal, with therapy and nursing, time alone would heal. To help the Cornwall Air Ambulance in memory of his flight, Tommy said, "We'll go singing carols round St Wenn at night." So from Triganeth Harbour down to Rosenannan City, Demelza and Churchtown all helped to fill the kitty. And as is well known, St Wenners are both generous and thrifty. They gave the helicopter a lift with £121.50. "21st century traffic jam. Come to sunny Cornwall," said the holiday guide. "Come on down the motorway. It's such an easy ride. enjoy the rugged cliffs, golden sands and foaming surf, ride on dappled ponies o'er springy moorland turf. Hamlets in sheltered valleys where time stands still, explore a granite church on a weather-beaten hill. Land of legend, steeped in history, folklore, piskies, so much still a mystery. Here we come, they said, from London and from Leeds. Cornwall for certain will satisfy our needs. I won't turn down the offer, said the man from Liverpool. Not to take advantage, I'd really be a fool. So everyone from Edinburgh right down to Sheerness decided it's Cornwall for us. We could do without the stress. And from all over Great Britain they started out with smiles. But soon it was traffic jams for miles and miles and miles. The planners planned for Cornwall to be full, with that there was no doubt. But one thing they hadn't thought of: how to get them out. Telephones were ringing, email messages were sent. Nothing moved from Hale to Lanson, let alone to Kent. Someone up in Whitehall said, "Let us seize our chance. We'll build a bridge to the Isles of Scilly, starting from Penzance." And the engineers, they got to work allaying every fear. With modern building methods, we'll do it all this year. The problem's solved, proclaimed the powers that be, with our dual carriageway right across the sea. Yet from all directions, still the masses came. The problem solved? No. Nose to tail, just the same. As panic gripped Whitehall with everybody frantic, orders came from the very top. Bridge the Atlantic. Get things moving, don't delay. Send them to the USA. Right across the bridge they went, welcomed by the President. But then the Yanks got hot beneath their collars. What about our precious dollars? The word got round, there ain't no gas. Things have come to a pretty pass. With all our plans and work and toil, the world has run clean out of oil. So now, Cornwall's a land of peace and quiet. No hustle, bustle, noise or riot. Since the lack of fossil fuel, it's back to donkey, horse and mule. No complaints of bells or cockerels crowing. Now we hear the birds as we go about our sowing. We won't be bossed by someone young and freckly. We'll do what Granfer did, and we'll do it directly. Well, this is Granfer coming in to the 20th century. Of course, see, there weren't many visitors back along. When the first visitors come round, they look in over the gate and they see Granfer sitting on his stool, spitting on his hands, with his cap four-side back, milking old cow. They said, "Hello, farmer, what time is it?" And Granfer lifted up old cow's tail. Oh, he said, "'Tis 10 to 5. The next night, they come on her again. There was Granfer milking away for dear life. "Hello, farmer, what time is it?" Granfer lifted up old cow's tail. Oh, he said, "'Tis 5 o'clock. And this went on all the week. And come Friday, they said, "Farmer, we're going home tomorrow. What time is it now?" Granfer lifted up old cow's tail and said, "Oh, 'tis 4:45. They said, "Oh, we'd love for you to tell us how you know the time." Oh, he said, "That's simple, my dear, 'cause when I lift up the old cow's tail, I can see the church clock." This is Jan's version of his day at the market. "I went to market the other day, 'twas way back in the spring. A one-horned cow with a twisty tail was going around the ring. I waved to Brother Sid. The auctioneer thought I'd bid. He said, 'Now, Jan, now, she's your old cow. You'd owe me 40 quid. Oh, dearie, dearie me. I felt a proper fool. Not only had I bought the cow, but the pail and milk and stool. I had no alternative. I said, 'How much milk will she give?' They slapped her sides as he replied, 'It depends how long she live.' So homeward I did go with me old twisty tail, empty puss, three-legged stool, and rusty milk and pail. Mother was at the gate. She said, 'How be late?' Oh, I said, 'I got a machine to make milk and cream. All you got to do is wait.' So off I goes down yard with me pail and milk and stool, spit on me hands and pulled and squeezed according to the rules. Now they say that cows can't talk, but old Twisty, she turned round as good's to say, 'Now you hang on and I'll jump up and down.' I started at 7 o'clock, and at about 8:30, she stuck her foot right in the pail and got the milk all dirty. So I gived it to her to drink. I thought the idea fine. She could put it through again to be clean the second time. A visitor looked in the door. He said, 'One thing I'm sure, your milking stool has got 3 legs. It really should have 4. Now the ignorance of these people, they really make you shudder. We all know the stool got 3 legs, 'cause the cow have got the other. Now one sunny afternoon she lied down in the clover. Oh, I used ropes and boards and bales and cords to try to turn her over. I thought if I could get her upside down, or as some say, downside up, when I milked her in the morning, all the cream would be on top. A letter come one day. It made me feel some nervous. 'Twas wrote in black across the top, 'On Her Majesty's service.' It said that before they take the milk down to the factory, they would inspect and would expect all tests be satisfactory. A fella come next day with a bottle for a sample. He said, 'If you fill the pail, that will be more than ample.' So I sits down on me stool, and I was going just like a train, when Twisty up and kicked the pail and scatting down the drain. Now when the vicar come to tea, he said, 'Oh, Jan, I see. You're farming now with one old cow. How happy you must be.' And then he said something which I believe he thought was funny. 'If only you had a swarm of bees, you'd be in the land of milk and honey.' Now Mother thought 'twould be nice to give him a dish of cream. She said, 'Jan, nip way down the yard, you know what I mean.' Later I looked round the door, and I could only splutter, 'Just as she filled the pail, me dear, she's scatting down the gutter.' Now we haven't sold any milk. In fact, we haven't never tasted, 'cause all the old cow have ever gived, every drop been wasted. So next week, up the road and in the market she'll be. Only this time, I can make quite sure that Brother Sid to wave to me. I mind Granfer telling about one morning he come down and his donkey was dead. He said, well, that's funny. He said he'd never done that before. But then, you know, things isn't very good on the farm, really. The old ram committed suicide the other day. Banged his head against the wall. The old boy was home from college and he had the old wireless thing blaring in the tractor. And they heard Frank Sinatra singing, "There'll never be another you." Granfer went doctors all back along, and he wasn't all that well. Bit of stomach trouble, saying. Doctor said, "I'll give you these tablets and you come again tomorrow morning." So when he come tomorrow morning, he said, "Have you passed anything this morning?" And Granfer said, "Yeah, Austin carting a man pushing a wheelbarrow." But see, we only got 2 horses left now, young one and old one. And Granfer said to me, he said, "Boy," he said, "I want to carry a few turnips, go down and bring up one of the horses." I brought up the young one. Granfer said, "What ever be doing that for? You should bring up the old one, wear the old one out first." I said, "Well, you go down for none." Of course, Granfer got out turnip field, see? And every time he go aving the turnip, the old horse would move forward. He said, "I'll stop you, my beauty." He pulled Mother's pasty out of his crib bag, put it in front of the cartwheel. He never moved after that. But I did dearly like turnip pasty. Oh, handsome. I always know which is mine, 'cause Mother to put down TT, tis turnip. And then she put TT on other ones, tidn't turn up. Well, this is a poem that I heard many years ago, entitled Binder String. Can you mind old Bill that used for work for Blake down near Land's End? There was nothing on the farm that fella couldn't mend, from hay fork to harvester, or any blessed thing. Old Bill, he could fix it with a bit of binder string. Now one day the bull got out. He ran and raced around. Nobody could get near him as he pawed and hooked the ground. Boss said, "Bill, the old bull's got out. He been and broke his ring." Bill caught him and tied him up with a bit of binder string. Now Bill courted Mabel 4 long years and said, "Let's wed." I got a table and some chairs and Granny's feather bed. Oh, and I got half a ton of teddies in the field that I can bring. Oh, and I've made some handsome doormats with bits of binder string. So Mabel said we'd best get wed before they'd cut the hay. So they had a slap-up wedding on the 23rd of May. When they got down to the church, old Bill, he'd lost the ring. He had to marry Mabel with a bit of binder string. 12 months went by and a little girl come to bless the happy pair. Great blue eyes like saucers and a tuft of ginger hair. And Bill said to the parson at the baby's christening, "Look, sir, her hair be just the colour of a bit of binder string." Now time passed by and old Bill died and he come to Adam's door. He heard them all a-singing, and he was worried sore. He said to good St. Peter, "Sir, I've never learnt to sing, see, 'cause I've always been so busy making things with binder string." St. Peter said, "Don't worry, Bill. The good Lord understands. He was a carpenter, you know, and he likes folk to use their hands. We got lots of 'em up here who can play their harps, and lots more who can sing. We could do with a handy chap like you. Did he bring your binder string?" So Bill, he bides in heaven now. He's very happy there. He got a little workshop right behind St. Peter's chair. And when the angels play their harps and all the folks to sing, Bill mends the little cherubs' toys with bits of binder string. Farmer Fred and the Ministry Man. A big car wound its way along the old farm track. A smartly suited ministry man with his laptop in the back. Getting out into the yard with its usual mix of smellies, carefully taking off his shoes and putting on his wellies. "I'm here to check the farm and the animals you keep. I've no time to waste. Take me to your sheep. This laptop here, it's a real delight. Everything is done by satellite. Ah yes, I can clearly see your total flock is 33. Hold on, this machine may be affected by the weather. I found 3 more. 2 are on their own, and 1 of them's together. Cattle next. You haven't got a very large herd, have you? The number on my screen shows you've 22. Just hang on a minute, says Farmer Fred. 'Tis time that someone should be said. They tow without the horns over where the gorse is father's team of Shire horses. What's this I see? Several unrecorded pigs beneath the apple trees. That's a serious offence. You can't do as you please. Says Fred, I don't see any reason for you to get jumpy. They pigs you see be cider barrels. We'd a dirty like our scrumpy. Of those chickens out across the field, the onus is on you to make sure that they're protected against this awful flu. Says Fred, you can be much misled and let down on looks. They chicken you can see out there, well, they'm just a flock of rooks. The man said, I have to tell you, under the Health and Safety Act, my power is quite far-reaching. Beware, that is a fact. I shall have to report you. I've seen a great big rat. Says Fred, oh, you must need glasses. That's our neighbour's old tomcat. I must examine your tractor now, the inspector said. Is it under cover? Do you keep it in the shed? Oh, Granfer and father never had one, and 'tis still the same with me. Dirty, noisy, smelly things is what I think they be. The man said, oh, I must get back now. It's getting rather late. I need a cheque right away for £99.68. Oh, Granfer and father never had any chequebook, and I ain't got one neither. We've very little money. I expect I could pay a £5. Perhaps, the man replied, I could have a word with your wife. Says Fred, oh, I've never had one of they, not ever all me life. Granfer never had one, and father just the same. And my boy carries on the tradition, and his boy will carry on the name. Granfer used to work on a farm when he was young, and he started going down village to see a little maid, and he was going off for one night through the yard carrying his lantern, and boss sitting and said, I never had no lantern when I went courting. Granfer said, I know that when I've seen your missus. Well, you know what 'tis like. They got a bit late, so Granfer was going to take a shortcut home. He went over the stile, and lantern had run out of oil, and in the dark he tripped over a cow. Lantern went one way, hat went the other. Oh, he was pretty well finding his hat. You know, he tried on several before he found the right one. But we had some trouble with Granfer when we had the telephone. We was all there, seated round the table. The phone rang, and Granfer picked up the phone and said, hello. Then he dropped him again. Then he ringed again. Hello. Drop him again. And this went on several times. And he said, yes, 'tis. Hello, yes, 'tis. And we said to Granfer, what is it? We said, there's a woman to say 'tis a long distance from New York. And I say, yeah, 'tis. Well, then Granfer was finding fault because the flex was too long. He was afraid he was going to trip over it. So he phoned up the telephone party and said, you know, about it. And they said, well, we can't come for a fortnight. Well, he said, 'twon't take that long. He said, you just pull it in from your end. And then we was all sitting down one night, and knock come to the door, and Granfer went back. He was gone for a pretty. He was just going to tea. Gone for a pretty while. And then he come in, he said, there's two of them out there. He said, all they was on was about what sort of bread we'd use. Do us use white bread or brown bread? He said, I couldn't get rid of them. Mother was boozing because her tea had gone cold, and well, he said, 'twas no good, Mother. He said, I just couldn't get rid of them. They just wanted to know about this brown bread. Oh, she said, I've had they here a time or two. That's the Hovis witnesses. Thank you for buying my CD. All profits will go to Cornwall Hospice Care and Cornwall Air Ambulance. If you liked it, why not buy one for a friend? And if you didn't like it, buy one and give them to somebody you didn't like. Thank you again. In Cornish, in Cornwall, Muras.